Because you're my son.
The limited series, March, concludes this Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
Breaking news now at 10. The Foo Fighters suffer a major loss. The sudden death of drummer Taylor Hawkins.
Plus, a trip to buy a car turns deadly when a grandfather is shot during a robbery, then struck by a car, all in front of his horrified family.
And a major shift in the war in Ukraine. A top Russian general says the first phase of their military plan is over. What that means and what's next, now on the news at 10. Good evening, I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Pedro Rivera in for Micah Oldman. Devastating news tonight in the music world. The sudden death of Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins.
Hawkins and the band were on tour in South America, preparing to perform in Bogota, Colombia, when the 50-year-old drummer was found dead. Entertainment reporter Doug Kolk takes a look at Hawkins and his rock and roll legacy.
Gotta promise not to stop when I say.
There's a reason the Foo Fighters' third drummer turned out to be their last. Even for a musical perfectionist like Dave Grohl, Taylor Hawkins was the perfect fit. Taylor grew up in Orange County and got his big break drumming for Alanis Morissette on her massive 2-year Jagged Little Pill tour.
And it just went nuclear, man. It was like, it went nuclear.
But it was immediately following the tour that he left to join, at the time, a much smaller band, but one that he instinctually knew would rock. And he was right. For the next 25 years, he would be known as the long-haired, board-short-wearing drummer of one of the world's biggest rock and roll bands, the Foo Fighters, where he's even been known to steal the show from time to time. We caught up with Taylor back in 2014 when he formed a heavy metal side project called Birds of Satan.
Being a musician, having the comfort of the Foo Fighters, is it easier to pursue these projects?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't, it gives you that cushion because you have this other thing that you do that you make a living doing, and pays the bills quite well. So I get to sort of indulge myself with all my little flights of sort of fancy and my self-indulgent little side projects. But that are based out of fun,
According to reports, Taylor's body was found Friday in his Columbia hotel room. The Foo Fighters were on a South American tour at the time of his passing. This was the last known time he took to the stage, March 20th in Argentina. Taylor Hawkins was 50 years old and the father of 3 kids. Doug Kolk, KTLA 5 Entertainment.
And the band released this statement tonight. The Foo Fighters family is devastated by the tragic and untimely loss of our beloved Taylor Hawkins. His musical spirit and infectious laughter will live on with all of us forever.
Now to significant developments in the war in Ukraine. Russia is showing no signs of a strategic shift of its invasion of the crippled country. The Pentagon is confirming Russian forces are halting ground operations towards the capital city of Kyiv.
However, they are ramping up devastating attacks in eastern Ukraine. A Russian military official now claims his country is focused on the liberation of Donbas, the region partly controlled by Russian-backed separatist forces for the past 8 years.
John Fenolio is live in the KTLA News Center tracking the latest developments. John.
Well, Sharon, Pedro, that's right. Russia's invasion has not gone as planned. Western officials say Russian ground forces have been plagued by logistical missteps and fierce counterattacks. For its part, Russia says it has accomplished the first phase of its military plan to reduce Ukraine's fighting capacity, which is why it might be pulling back. But it remains unclear if this is just a deceptive tactic or a possible exit strategy for Moscow. Ukrainians waiting in line for humanitarian aid at a shopping center in the besieged city of Kharkiv. An easy target for Russia.